Welcome ESL to the round of 16 at Talladega as the cars are getting ready. They're on the track as qualifying has begun. As we see the 01 Rooster riding. What type of lap times can he put together? He's got his work cut out for him today. He is 15th in playoff points. So he needs to catch a few breaks and have a great race in order to advance to the round of 12. As Rooster gets set for his first lap around Talladega. Goes around turn 3 onto the front stretch. What type of lap time can he put together? And it's Chris Andrews on top of the leaderboard with the fastest lap, 53.369. He's not in the playoffs, but he is trying to play spoiler today. Can anybody beat that timeout? And Travis Arthur wins the pole at Talladega. In second is Peyton Hill, third Doug Britton, fourth Amelia Rose, fifth E. Weezy, sixth Ralph Lumley, seventh Chris Andrews, eighth Freddie Trammell, ninth Kyle Storm, and 10th Stefan Forge. We have some notable drivers towards the end of the field, so this should be interesting. Those drivers are going to have to fight for their playoff lives. But Travis Arthur on the pole. We'll be back in a few minutes with the start of the race. And we are back. And we are set to start the round of 16. Who will advance? Who will get eliminated? We had a wild one yesterday in 1987 series. It came down to fuel strategy. Will the same play out today? Who will make the right calls on pit road? Yes, here are your drivers in the round of 16. In the round of 16, with Kyle Storm, E. Weezy, Ace Blade, Axel Raven, Doug Britton, Rhett Sawyer, Odion Muldoon, Bill Cherry, Ralph Alumley, Freddie Trammell, Aaron Kozak, Amelia Rose, Andrew Green, Merle McGuire, Rooster Rodden, and Tyler Commander. Out of all those drivers, Freddie Trammell won in the last super speedway track we raced at, which was at Daytona week 1. And he is starting 8th today. This should be a fun one. "27 laps in this first stage. Pace car comes off the track. The green flag waves. Round of 16 is underway, and drivers are wasting no time as Amelia Rose is trying to go 3 wide immediately as we head into turn 1. As we have 3 lines right now. Amelia Rose charges to the front, tucks inside to the inside lane. Now Freddie Trammell quickly goes to the front, followed by Kenny Flourish and Andrew Green. Drivers are wasting no time to try to make their way up to the front. The key is to stay in the main group in the draft. You do not want to lose the draft at this track. Freddie Trammell, Kenny Flores second, Andrew Green third, Odion Muldoon fourth, Killmonger fifth. Killmonger just missed the playoffs, but we know what he can do. And it looks like there's a pack that is starting to fall a little behind, and that is not what you want to do right now. And that pack's Rooster Rodden, Bill Cherry, that's 2 playoff drivers, 26th, 27th. That is not where you want to be, and you do not want to lose this draft. As Kenny Flores takes the lead. And he has some help. As we're double file. Now Now Killmonger's in the outside. Killmonger up front. Ralph Lumley second. Peyton Hill third. Let's ride on board Rhett Sawyer. Rhett Sawyer on the outside lane. Tyler Commander right behind him, but then it's Kyle Storm. They're trying to make that outside lane work. They got to get a few more cars out there to be able to make a run to the front, unless they start side drafting as much as possible. Rooster Rodden has the fastest lap of this race, but he is currently 26, trying to figure out how he can work his way up. He's got plenty of time to figure things out. Killmonger still holding on to the lead. In second is still Ralph Lumley. Peyton Hill third. We see Kenny Flores on the outside, right behind him. I think that's Rhett Sawyer. That is Rhett Sawyer, and then it's Tyler Commander. And if you look at Killmonger's RPMs, 9,100, that does not move. It's pedal to the metal all the way around. Peyton Hill jumps to the outside. He's tired of being in line. Will anyone follow suit with him? Or will he get hung out to dry? And nobody jumps out with him. And now it's Killmonger and Ralph Lumley out front by themselves. But it's not going to be for long. As now we see Stefan Forge quickly catching up to the 62. Track is at 114 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds. There is a line. There is another line on the outside. They just don't have enough momentum to move to the front. They just need a few more cars to jump out and help them move that line. We have 16 laps to go. And Bill Cherry has lost the draft. He has his teammate right behind him, Ani, but that's not going to help. There's just two cars. There's no way you could keep up with that main pack. So his hope is at least to not get lapped. And Doug Britton cracks the top 10. Now we see Chris Andrews trying to lead that outside lane, that outside line. Unless they get more cars, it's just not going to work. Now we see Ralph Lumley. No, it's not Ralph Lumley. It's Odeon. He steps out, but it's a mistake and he needs some help. At least he had the number 2 to back him up a little. If not, he would have lost a ton of ground. "13 laps to go." Your top 5: Killmonger, Ralph, Stefan, Freddie Trammell, Andrew Green. We have a few cars that are off the pace that have lost the draft. And one of them is a playoff driver, Merrill McGuire. And he cannot afford this right now because he is 14th in points. So they just cannot get lapped. If they get lapped, that's going to be disastrous. You want to at least stay on the lead lap. But the top 6 are happy to just stay in single file. Being in the lead is great, but as we saw yesterday, when you're in the lead, you burn more fuel. It might not play a big part right now, but later on, it definitely will. If we stay green the whole way. We will see if this second pack can catch up as they're mainly double file with Amelia Rose and Odeon leading the way. They are trying to get organized. Killmonger, Ralph, Stefan, your top three. They're looking at weeks one's Daytona results. Freddie Trammell won that race. Kyle Storm was second. CJ third. Ace Blade fourth. Axel Raven fifth. So we know those drivers are fast on a super speedway. Your biggest mover is Killmonger. He is up 19 positions since the start of the race. All you want to do is just hang around up front. Don't make no major mistakes. And hopefully you can hang around to the end when it really counts. The driver that has lost the most positions is Eweezy, down 17 positions. And he is your regular season champion. That second pack that cannot seem to muster the speed to catch up to that first pack. We know how crucial stage points are. You want to finish at least in the top 10 at the end of this stage. Seven laps to go when we cross the stripe. It doesn't seem like those drivers that lost the draft are going to get lapped. So that is good news for them. That will give them the opportunity to regroup and hopefully fix whatever issues they are having. But there's plenty of racing left to go. But it shows you how much speed that top six have, because that second group cannot catch those top six. And they're just content to stay single file. Killmonger still leads the way. Five laps to go. Ralph Lumley steps to the outside. He would love to get a stage win. Can anyone follow him? He's hanging out there by himself. And nobody's going to follow him. He's just going to fall to the back of that line. Now Stefan Forge is second with 4 laps to go. Ralph Lumley took a chance, but nobody joined him. We have 2 Apex Predator racing cars, second and third. Three laps to go. Top 6 continue to stay consistent, and that second group can just not catch up to that first group no matter what. Two laps to go. Can that second group figure out anything to make up a little bit of ground? Amelia Rose and Orion still leading that second group. One more lap to go to the end of stage 1. Unless someone makes a move, Killmonger will win this first stage. We only have 5 playoff drivers in this top 10. And those are the ones that really need these stage points. Killmonger on the front stretch. Killmonger wins stage 1. Great run by the 21. Who will come in to get fuel and tires? It wasn't an eventful stage 1. Most of the drivers were just content of where they were. No one wanted to make a risky move. As you saw, every time somebody made a move, if you don't have a partner to dance with, you're just going to fall back. Doug decides to come in and get fuel. You're looking at about 37 laps of fuel. What decisions will the crew chiefs will make? And Killmonger comes off onto pit road, but there's a few that are staying out, and Freddie Trammell is one of them. Freddie Trammell, Andrew Green, Kenny Flores decide to stay out. And there's a few more. Aaron Kozak, Doug Britton, Kyle Storm, Peyton Hill, Brogan, Billy Sauter, E. Weezy, Rooster Rodden. 11 drivers decided to stay out. Stefan Forge comes out the pits first. Killmonger second. Ralph third. Odeon fourth. JQ fifth. So Freddie Trammell takes a risk. Andrew Green took a risk. There's a few playoff drivers. Trammell, Green, Britton, Kozak, Storm, E. Weezy, and Rodden. All those playoff drivers said, hey, I prefer just being up front right now. We'll figure out the fuel later. We will see how this plays out. The fuel window's about 37 laps, but it's all green laps. So, I mean, you can maybe extend it to 45, roughly. Depends on how much fuel they were saving. I mean, most of these drivers were not leading. As Stefan Forge comes back onto pit road, it's possible he missed his pit stall, so now he had to come back in. Because he did come out of the pits pretty quick the first time around. As we get the one to go. So yeah, you're definitely looking at maybe adding 8 more laps to that total. Like I said earlier, most of these drivers were not leading laps. That's when you burn a ton of fuel. So we will see how much fuel these guys have. Stefan Forge comes out of pit road. And the stage 2 is lap 59. they go around turn 4. Pace car comes off the track as we get set to start stage number 2. Was staying out a mistake? We will see. We still have 16 laps to go. Green flag is out. Stage 2 is underway. And the inside lane had a horrible restart. And Andrew Green flies to the front. What a bad restart in that inside lane. But you also have to remember those drivers stayed out and they're on worn tires. So it's possible he spun those tires on the restart. Andrew Green, Brogan, E. Weezy, your top 3. That's the top 7, our single file. That restart in the inside lane really just slowed things down. That's Aaron Kozak. He jumped outside for a second. In that outside lane is Kyle. As you see, he is trying to side draft his way to the front. Can he make that outside work? Nobody can make it work in the first stage. Now Andrew Green loses the lead. Brogan to the front. E. Weezy second, Killmonger third. And Andrew Green lost a ton of positions back down to 7th. On that outside is Peyton Hill. He's leading that outside lane. Right behind him, Ralph Lumley and Kyle Storm. Brogan still leads the way. Now Kenny Flores goes to the outside, then gets back in line. He was trying to test the waters there. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to jump out now as you have 3 cars in the outside lane. You might be able to make it work. Make that 5 cars because now it's Travis Arthur back there. And Axel Raven. Brogan still leads this race, but for how long? He was one of the cars that did not pit. I would say if these cars come in to get fuel, it's going to be around lap 45, roughly. It really depends how much fuel they're burning right now and how much did they save during the caution laps Ralph Lumley in there outside. Kyle Storm behind him, Amelia Rose. Doug Britton currently in 12th. There's Axel Raven in 20th. You do not want to lose this draft. Plenty of racing left to go as we get closer and closer to the halfway point. Your top 10, Brogan, E. Weezy, Killmonger, Freddie Trammell, Kenny Flourish, Aaron Kozak, Andrew Green, Peyton Hill, Billy Sauter, and Ralph Lumley. The one thing about these cars that did not pit is when they end up pitting, depending on what lap they pit, they might be able to make it all the way to the end of the race where the other drivers will still have to pit. So we will see. This strategy is definitely going to be very interesting. And there's Freddie Trammell trying to work that outside. He's got Ralph Lumley out there, but that is it. But he is doing a good job of hanging in there in the outside. Now we see Billy Sauter jump into that line, but for how long? Kyle Storm is out there as well. E. Weezy goes to the outside trying to take the lead. He has some help from Freddie Trammell. And that's what you need. If you jump out, you need someone behind you to push you to the front. E. Weezy takes the lead. Ralph Lumley still on the outside. Now Freddie Trammell is your leader. E. Weezy goes back to the outside. Can he get a push from Brogan? Brogan gets back in line. And it was just enough for E. Weezy to reclaim the lead as we're 3 wide. And Kenny Flourish is caught in the middle with no help. And he gets back in line, back down to 13th, just like that. Drivers in this stage are getting just a little bit more aggressive. Ralph Lumley still hanging out there in the front. Rooster Rodden behind him and his teammate Kyle Storm. "17 laps to go." We are getting close to that pit window of when these drivers might start running out of fuel. Killmonger goes to the outside. Now, a big thing here is if you get stuck in that outside lane and can't go back down because you have to pit, you will run out of fuel. So it's dangerous to be in the outside lane right now if you have not pitted yet. Your top five: Eweezy, Freddie Trammell, Brogan, Aaron Kozak, Andrew Green. And here we go. Cars are coming in. As Peyton Hill comes in. Kyle Storm. Kenny Flourish. At least it's 3 cars. They can draft off each other. When will these other drivers come into pit? But we are at that window. There's Aaron Kozak. He goes to the outside, but he's by himself. Gets back in line. And here comes the leaders as they all peel off together. 6 cars, which is the smart thing to do. If you're going to pit, you want to have a little group that you could draft off each other. And you kind of want to stay together. Aaron Kozak is still out there with Rooster Rodden. They are trying to stretch the fuel, but this could be very smart because this might give them the opportunity to make it all the way to the end of the race. And Rooster Rodden runs out of fuel. Rooster Rodden has run out of fuel. Will this trigger the caution? So far, it has not triggered the caution. Aaron Kozak on pit road. And that's the risk you take staying in the outside. Ralph Lumley is your leader. Now your top 5: Ralph Lumley, Travis, Rhett Sawyer, Killmonger, JQ. What a disaster for the 01. As he is 15 in points, he only has 1 playoff point. As we have 12 laps to go to the end of stage 2. And there we see Doug Brain. He is currently 36. And he is all by himself. He is going to lose the lead lap. But he will be the lucky dog if he can hold on. He needs to attach himself to this group. He needs to stay in this draft right here. He does not want to lose this draft. Right now, he will be your lucky dog at the end of the stage. So he caught a break. Let's go to that second group. It really is not a group, but it's Ani, Amelia Rose. They're 6th and 7th. This is your next biggest group. You have Braden Goddard, Odeon, Aaron Hughes, Stefan Forge, Chris Andrews, and Steve Bird. A little farther back, you have Lotus Lee, Jay-Z Bacon, CJ Slava, Axel Raven. This is your biggest group out there. So those pit stops shook things up. And Rooster Rodden running out of fuel really shook things up. As he was trying to get his way back around, but just couldn't do it. Eight laps to go to the end of stage 2. That first stage was uneventful, but this second stage, those pit stops really shook things up. It will be interesting if all these cars come into pit, or do the ones that pitted lap 44, do they stay out? Now Travis Arthur tries to go to the outside with Rhett Sawyer. And he has some help. Rhett Sawyer moves into second. Travis Arthur is your leader. You want to try to get these stage points. Let's see where these playoff drivers are at. Let's start with Kyle Storm. He is currently 31st. Not a great day. Eweezy is 26. Ace Blade 16th. Doug Britton 36. Rhett Sawyer in second. Odeon in 9th. Bill Cherry in 14th. Ralph Lumley currently in 4th. Freddie Trammell in 27th. Aaron Kozak, 31st. Amelia Rose, 7th. Andrew Green in 28th. Burrow McGuire, 21st. Rooster Rodden, he is currently in last and a few laps down. And Tyler Commander in 20th. We have 4 laps to go to the end of stage 2. But one driver out of that list that we just went through, playoff drivers, Rooster Rodden's playoff championships hopes are done unless a miracle happens. Brett Sawyer goes to the outside. He definitely would love to win this stage and get a playoff point. As we're 3 wide going around 1. Brett Sawyer gets very high, very close to the wall. As we see another car up ahead. But Travis Arthur, still your leader. Two laps to go. As there's Berto Demora, Travis Arthur goes to the outside. Here comes Brett Sawyer once again on the outside, and he has some help with JQ. Now Brett Sawyer is your leader. One more lap to go. Brett Sawyer would love to win this stage right here. He just needs to stay up front. Will anyone make a move? Will Travis Arthur try to bounce back to the outside? But there is only 4 cars here, and JQ is lagging a little bit. So I don't think anyone is going to try to make a move here. Brett Sawyer wins stage 2. Now we will see what happens from here. Does everyone come in? Does the cars that pitted in lap 44, do they stay out? Do they have enough to make it to the end? I think the one driver that could probably make it to the end if he stays out is Aaron Kozak, because he's pitted on lap 45. And because of the caution laps, he could probably squeeze out 45 laps. So that should be more than enough, depending if he's in the lead or not. So we will see what happens. And here comes Rhett Sawyer onto pit road. And everyone is following suit. Do the cars that pitted. The cars that pitted on lap 44 are coming in. So it seems like everyone's coming in. So everyone is on a even playing field now. And now everyone can make it to the end on fuel. Now it's all about where can you position yourself on this restart. Can you gain some ground? We have 35 cars on the lead lap as Doug Britton gets his lap back. He was your lucky dog. I mean, he will have his work cut out for him, but nothing is impossible. He has a fast hot rod, and there's still plenty of laps to go. But he is definitely still in this thing. And JQ is your leader. Travis Arthur second, Rhett Sawyer third. He won that second stage, gets a playoff point. That's huge for him. Ralph Lumley fourth, Ani fifth, Bill Cherry sixth, another playoff driver. Aaron Hughes seventh, Braden Goddard eighth, CJ Slava ninth, and William Thompson rounds out your top 10. On that last restart, I think it was Freddie Trammell. He didn't have a good restart. So will that inside lane struggle once again? As we will have 28 laps when the green flag waves. These drivers are fighting for their playoff lives for 28 laps. And there's some notable drivers towards the back. Kyle Storm, 29th. Aaron Kozak, 30th. Doug, 35th. I mean, those drivers, I mean, they need to really try to move up through the field as much as possible. E-Weezy, 24th. He is your regular season champion. Axel Raven, 27th. So we will see how this shakes out as we are getting ready to start stage 3. The green flag waves and we are underway. Bill Cherry looks to the inside. Ralph Lumley caught on the outside all by himself. And that is not good for him. He is going to fall way back. Travis Arthur out in the outside regains the lead. Bill Cherry trying to charge to the front. Now Bill Cherry is your leader. There is no time to waste. Now Braden is your leader for the first time today. And William Thompson, having his best race of the season, is in second. These drivers are trying to play spoiler. Lotus Lee in third. Amelia Rose in that outside lane. She has quite a few cars behind her. Amelia Rose gets in line, gets in the inside. Stefan Forge as well. Now Chris Andrews is in that outside lane. But how many drivers will stay out there, as most drivers prefer that inside lane. And here comes E Weezy. He gets in line. Braden Goddard still your leader. William Thompson second. The key is not to lose this draft, to give yourself a shot. And look at Aaron Kozak up to 9th in the top 10. He said, not today. I want to make it to the round of 12. It's go time. There is no time to waste. Andrew Green still in the outside. They're hanging tough out there. He has nobody out there besides Peyton Hill. Ace Blade in 13th. He's trying to hold on for dear life. He does not want to get away from that first pack. Wants to hold on to that draft. If you lose that draft, it's not going to be good. Stefan Forge looks to the outside. He gets very loose. That air makes the car very unstable. But he has a little help with Chris Andrews right behind him. Now Stefan Forge is caught in the middle. He's trying to get back in line but can't, but he goes down low, finds a spot, gets in. Braden Goddard continues to lead. And the laps continue to tick down. Stefan Forge still trying to make that outside work. Most of these cars have not lost the lead lap, which is good. But don't look now. There's Doug Britton in 12th after being 35th to start stage 3. He got kicked out last season in the round of 16, but he's very, very adamant that's not going to happen this time around. He's going to do everything he can to advance to the round of 12. The top 5 content and staying single file. If you make a mistake here and jump out too early, that could cost you the playoffs. So I'm sure this is on all these drivers' minds. You gotta make the right move at the right time. If you want to win this race, though, you're gonna have to take a gamble sooner or later. There is Ace Blade in 15th. And Kyle Storm, he's in 18th. Brett Sawyer in 21st. Kenny Flores, he's leading that second group. And Bill Cherry is in that group. Unfortunately, he is 27th right now. So it is not looking good for him. Or Merle McGuire, he is currently in 33rd. As Doug Britton moves up to second, is in the outside trying to make the pass on Chris Andrews. Doug Britton is your leader after struggling in that second stage, losing the lap. And here he is, the leader of the race. Chris Andrews comes back in the outside and reclaims the lead. And there is that 56. We know how fast he is on super speedways. He won week 1 at Daytona. Freddie Trammell. Right behind him is the 26, Andrew Green. A proven champion. You cannot count him out either. As we're side by side in the backstretch. These drivers know how big it is to win a race, especially in the playoffs. You win, you automatically advance. And we're still side by side, heading to the stripe. 18 laps to go. Odeon, Muldoon in 6th. Amelia Rose 9th. Make that 10th. Andrew Green is your leader. William Thompson on the outside. You know he's desperate for the win, even though he's not in the playoffs. And here comes Odeon in the outside. The 79 is like when the playoffs come, he flips his switch, and all of a sudden, you don't want to be in his way. He proved that last season, made it to the round of 4. Now and outside, Stefan Forge. And we're just double file. Stefan Forge in the outside, leading that outside lane. Behind him is Killmonger. 16 laps to go. The 79 and the 14 pull away slightly, but they're going to get sucked right back in. That second lane seems to be losing a little bit of steam. Your top five: Odion, William, Stefan, Andrew, Freddie. And that top lane definitely is losing steam. They need some help. Killmonger says, no way, I'm going to get myself back in line. I do not want to be no part of being to the outside. Now Ace Blade is leading that lane, that line in the outside, with Ralph Lumley behind him and Billy Sauter. And here comes Chris Andrews. He jumps out. And that's what they need. They need a few more drivers to jump to the outside lane. Chris Andrews gets back in line. Now he jumps back out. And he has nothing to lose. He just wants a win. Can Chris Andrews make that outside work? Odion is happy just to stay single file. I don't know how long do you want to lead out front. You should be good on fuel, but you just never know if you're leading a ton of laps. What will that do to your fuel? So it's something to keep an eye on if it stays like this. And the top five have pulled away slightly. And now there's a second group forming. And now we look ahead. And there's some lap cars up ahead. And they're side by side. So how will this play out? Because they're going to get caught soon within the next lap or two. This can really shake things up with 11 laps to go. You do not want to get caught behind a lap car. As you can see, those lap cars up ahead, and they are still side by side. How is this going to play out? And here comes Chris Andrews. He looks to the outside, gets back in line. Goes back to the outside again. He needs some help out there. All this is happening when there's lap traffic up ahead. What will the 79 do here? He's going to have to make a smart decision. And he's behind JZ Bacon. And he jumps to the outside of JZ Bacon. And now William Thompson, Andrew Green, they're all there. Andrew Green, Chris Andrews up top. Andrew Green takes the lead away. Things are very intense right now. Chris Andrews to the outside. 9 laps to go. Here comes Ace Blade. Now Odeon is pushing Ace Blade to the front. Now Ace Blade is your leader. Odeon in second. Now Ralph Lumley is in the outside, but he don't have a lot of cars helping him out. Now Freddie Trammell. He stepped out for a second. How is this going to play out with a few laps to go? Odeon goes to the outside. He needs some help. Now his teammate is going to pick him up, Ralph Lumley. His teammate came right in time. Odeon takes the lead. Ralph Lumley in the outside. Ralph Lumley holding strong in the outside. As DOG swept. They didn't sweep, but they were finished first and second yesterday in the 1987. Can they do the same today in the next gen? Ralph Lumley takes the lead. 7 laps to go. Stefan Forge on the outside. So much at stake right now. Ralph Lumley, Odeon, Ace Blade, your top 3. 6 laps to go. Odeon jumps to the outside, and he does have some help with Stefan Forge. Odeon back to the front. Now Stefan Forge, he's going to try to take the lead. And does, but now Kyle Storm is in the outside. William Thompson's right behind him. Kyle Storm gets back into the inside line. Five laps to go. Who will take the checkered? Will it be a playoff driver? Kyle Storm, Stefan Forge, Odeon, William Thompson, and Ralph Lumley, your top 5. As they need to organize in that outside lane to try to make a run here. Not many more laps to go. Four laps to go. as the top four are trying to pull away. And Odiad almost went out there, and now he does. He goes back in. He's trying to see. He's trying to throw a feeler out there. Who's going to try to follow? I mean, there's a line of cars behind them. And that outside. Now Ralph Lumley goes to the outside. Can he get some help? He tucks back in. 3 laps to go. You have to set yourself up to make a move in the next few laps if you want to have a shot. Need a few more drivers in that outside lane to make it work, to get some momentum. You need a partner. Without a partner, you cannot dance as they go around turn 3 into turn 4. Stefan Forge goes to the outside. Can he get some help? Ralph Lumley jumps outside. 2 laps to go. Anyone's race. Stefan Forge on the outside. Kyle Storm in the inside. Side by side going around 1. Stefan Forge takes the lead. Now Ralph Lumley's on the outside. Ralph Lumley, your leader. And there's Freddie Trammell in second. Chris Andrews still in the outside lane. Stefan Forge goes to the outside. He has nothing to lose. He just wants to win. White flag waves. Last lap. Ralph Lumley continues to lead. Freddie Trammell in second. Can that outside lane get some momentum and make the pass? The top 2 separated. That is not good because they're going to get sucked right back in. It's going to give that outside line some momentum. We go around 3, around 4. We're on the straightaway. Ralph Lumley fighting off the 56. Will the 56 make a move? Ralph Lumley wins at Talladega and moves on to the round of 12. And DOG sweeps at Dega. They won yesterday, they won today. They brought some hot rods to Talladega. In second, Freddie Trammell. Third, Kyle Storm. Fourth, Stefan Forge. Fifth, Odion. Sixth, Chris Andrews. Seventh, Ace Blade. Eighth, William Thompson. Ninth, Aaron Kozak. And rounding out your top 10, Tyler Commander. Man, what a race. 2 days in a row. Congrats to the 62 and Ralph Lumley. He said, forget about the points. I'm going to win my way in to the round of 12. Man, what a heck of a race. And next week, for the round of 12, we head to Watkins Glen. So we will see what happens at the Glen. You know, the Glen could get wild. So each round is not easy. You know, advancing round to round gets just more difficult and more difficult as we go. But congrats to Ralph Lumley. I will put the stats out hopefully later today or tomorrow of who advances but we had a wild one. After starting off a little quiet, the second and third stage got pretty crazy, and we ended up with a great race at the end. And this is the best way to kick the playoffs. I'm looking forward to what the round of 12 has in store after today, but we will see. Thank you guys for supporting the league and supporting the stream. I will see you guys next time.